Covering Low Country, a puppy was found abandoned on Folly Beach. Tonight, our Kaitlyn Taylor talked to the Good Samaritan who found the pup and the people who are now taking care of him.
People could have walked by all day and thought, oh, somebody's coming right back for him.
A 9-month-old pit bull mix was abandoned Thursday night on Folly Road. Tanya Nikitas was headed to the beach with her family. That's when she spotted this dog on the side of the road. He was tied to a no dogs allowed sign. There was a note attached.
It was disturbing, to say the least.
It said he's friendly and doesn't bite, but needs a home.
Obviously, they wanted somebody to see him. They knew somebody would see him, but they left him with nothing.
But he was very lucky that this Good Samaritan did find him as quick as she did and call the police.
This lucky dog is now with pet helpers. They named him Folly after the place where they found him, now looking for a forever home.
I think he will make somebody a wonderful, wonderful family member. Somebody who will appreciate him and love him.
Working for you, I'm Kaitlyn Taylor, ABC News 4.
Well, we're inside of a Democratic watch party right here in Columbia. Just a few moments ago, Representative Smith and Dorrell stopped by.
The no TV game tonight, so you get to stay in the dry studio there. But we are still talking playoff football, talking November football.
Seeing cars and trucks continuously ignore her children's stopped school bus.
The gates of this longtime football venue are locked, but fans are focusing on memories of the field where sports and students spent decades together.
I graduated North Charleston High School in 1953, and of course the stadium was there a long time before I graduated.
North Charleston City Councilman Bob King has connections to Attaway Hindstone Field. He played football there long before the football field was renamed for two prominent men in the city's history. King says it was a different era.
The whole student body and went to the football game, the faculty went to the football game, it was good participation, and that was the main thing. It just brought people together.
Soon, the sounds of the game here will fade away. The bleachers and booths will be torn down to make way for a new trade school. Still, many locals remember a time when Cougars didn't prowl the sidelines.
Cooper River Blue Devils, which included Shakora and North Charleston High Schools, probably had what was considered one of the best high school teams in South Carolina.
Gordon Garrett owns a law firm not far from the field where he played football in the 1950s. The North Charleston High School graduate is sad to see the landmark go away.
It's been a wonderful field, and there've been a lot of other sports played there too, and it's been an integral part of North Charleston.
And soon, it'll be a memory. Bill Burr, ABC News 4.
When we arrived at a Red Cross shelter in Dorchester County, supplies were coming in.
As far as the bedding, I know that they're in process of trying to get cots into the shelters. I know that local EMDs and the Red Cross are working. I don't know the numbers or the exact shelter locations where cots are at this time.
According to the South Carolina Hurricane Plan, the need for medical cots in shelters are evaluated by health services. But as a rule, cots are not available at evacuation shelters for all of the evacuees. We spoke to Dave Snetzinger, a longtime Red Cross volunteer who flew in from northern Minnesota to help with this storm.
People have been asked to bring the bedding because cots are not being provided. So they're asked to bring in bedding, some personal effects, their valuables and that, but we don't have a lot of space, so they can't really bring a lot.
There's a lot of action going on behind me right now. There's Red Cross volunteers working hard to get these last-minute supplies into the shelters ahead of Hurricane Florence. That includes water, food, and some much-needed cots for a very long weekend ahead. These veterans came in from a VA facility. They do not have a medical need for cots, but say they're making do tonight, praising the Red Cross for their work.
Yeah, the Red Cross is fantastic. They brought in food already, and I think they're going about the business of the logistics.
Logistics that Governor McMaster says are still in play.
There is a statewide plan that is being implemented and is being perfected as we go in conditions required. We've been on the phone this morning. There were discussions with Louise Welch of the Red Cross and and things are proceeding well.
Once the storm makes its way here, Red Cross says it will decide when and where cots are needed. They will make that decision with government agencies. Working for you, Ann Emerson, ABC News 4.
The Bible says a friend is one that sticks closer to you than a brother. And I think that would sum our relationship up.
A relationship steeped in blue. Darlington Police Chief Kelvin Washington knew Sergeant Caraway for his entire career. First at Florence Police Department, they carpooled and spent time together off the clock. Great friends with a similar passion to serve and protect. When Washington got married, his friend Terrence and his wife Allison were there.
We had not gotten our wedding bands yet because we're a young couple just starting out, and he and his wife offered to give us their wedding bands for the wedding ceremony that day at the courthouse. That's the kind of friend he was.
A friend who Chief Washington says could be summed up in one word.
And that's the word bravery. I can tell you there is absolutely no doubt in my mind when he got that call, he did not hesitate. And he has been like that his entire career.
Caraway collected his 30-year service pen recently from the Florence Police Department. Washington's career took him to several different departments. He came back to the area 6 months ago, and they picked up his old friend Stu, having lunch together just about every week.
Every single conversation we had, he was talking about retirement. And it got to a point where I was like, man, you ain't going nowhere. Just quit talking about it. And that's what he was talking about. Now, you know, this. So.
Mother Nature's temper tantrum stirred the seas across the Lowcountry. At Charleston Harbor Marina, punishing winds forced boat owners to secure their vessels from vicious waves.
I've owned the boat for 3 years. This is my 4th hurricane, so we're not real fond of hurricanes.
Mike Lapone and his family own Moni, a 68-foot jewel of the water. They traveled from their home in North Carolina to take care of their second home, floating in the harbor.
The wind started blowing yesterday, and rain came in, and we just wanted to be sure everything was secured, safe and sound.
It was another tropical weather threat for those who spend time at local marinas.
The big thing is getting all the isinglass down and tying the boat up so you don't become a floating weapon, you know.
That's why Mike Lapone looks forward to calmer conditions.
This wind's going to stop blowing, and we're going to go fishing.
I'm livid that no one has done anything yet.
That's Erica Coakley. She says she's reached out to the bus services that ferry her children to and from Charleston schools every day. Here's the problem. Her apartment complex is off of a busy main road in Johns Island. But rather than pulling into the complex to collect the children,
they don't come inside the loop, so the kids are actually forced to stand out here on the side of the road to wait for the bus.
Coakley documents as much as she can with her phone and shares it on Facebook.
Just yesterday, a car almost ran into the back of a truck, you know, because the other cars that kept going, and one finally decided to stop. And so I guess he didn't think he was supposed to, and he almost ran into the back of that car.
The buses are run by Durham Bus Services and School Wheels Direct. She says Durham Bus Services told her that stop was in a central location, and due to the contract with Charleston County School District, there was nothing they could do.
Right now, it feels like you've been ignored and like they don't care, like nobody cares.
So we called them. Coakley says School Wheels Direct never responded to her. Coakley says she just wants to get the buses to pull off the road to a safe place.
Just pull in. That's the only thing we've asked.
We'll see if she gets her answer.
A police presence could be seen for most of the day along Nantucket Avenue and Norwalk Drive in North Charleston. Investigators looked for more information about a scary encounter.
I'm glad to see they jumped on it that fast.
June and Billy Bunton live in the Colony North neighborhood. It's where detectives say a mother and her 3-year-old daughter were approached by a man and woman who appeared from this wooded area. The man carried a gun. According to investigators, the armed suspect tried to grab the child, but the mother pulled the toddler away. That's when the couple ran into the woods.
I told my husband, I said, something's going on at the front. I said, there's a police car blinking and another car, and Yeah, then we got down there and they were all over.
June Bunton says she and her husband didn't know what had happened until they spoke with a neighbor. She's grateful the suspects didn't